Summer holidays are over. Hopefully you're all getting back, fully rested and ready to get back to work. And while you have all been on holiday and the world has slowed down, the world of AI has not. So this is a catch-up of what just happened during the summer holidays and the weeks after. Now the biggest news has been that you have gotten a lot of new big models coming out. But besides that, also one of the largest news we got was that one of OpenAI's models under the codename Astra created a breach. During its testing, it broke out of the sandbox and attacked Hugging Face to find out how to beat these benchmarks. Not only did it break out of the sandbox, but it also left a trail telling the next model on how to do the same. Now this in itself is really concerning because that means that all of a sudden we're losing control of our models. Because not only did it break out, but OpenAI did not know this. They only figured it out later when Hugging Face found out that someone had attacked them. And then OpenAI looked into their logs and found out it was actually their model that had gone rogue. On top of that, when Hugging Face tried to shut down this attack, they tried to use models like Fable or GPT-Soul to shut it down, but because of the cybersecurity limits, they could not do so. So they actually ended up using an open source GLM model to shut down this attack. Then of course it didn't go long before Anthropic also said, oh, we also have a model that's so dangerous that it broke out and we did not know how to control it. I mean, what is going on right now? How has it become a flex that we have a model saying, oh, it's so powerful we cannot control it? That shouldn't be a flex. The flex should be that we can actually release these models and make them secure from the get-go. Not that we have models too powerful to release to the public. This is getting a really bad trend. I mean, we had the same problems when they talk about Mythos and about Fable. This whole thing about always saying we have these very powerful models and no one is going to be able to use them and it's going to break everything and it's going to be doom everywhere. I mean, come on. You have to keep on focused on security, but also stop making these doomsday predictions. Because until now, nothing has really happened, right? Something good has also happened because OpenAI has solved math problems that were unable to be solved by humans. So that means that our models are becoming more and more powerful and starting to do things that we did not imagine them to do. So hopefully they're also going to soon be able to break maybe the code for cancer or whatever to actually give some benefits to the rest of our humanity. But not only OpenAI did this. Anthropic also had an in-house model. Now it did not solve mathematical problems, but however it did come very far and it has also been validated by many of the mathematicians to being on the right path to solving a problem that cannot be solved at the moment. Something is also coming here in August. Thanks to the EU Act, now Claude models will embed an invisible watermark directly into generated text. So this is not just metadata or something like that. When you copy paste it from one document to another document, this watermark will retain. That means that all of a sudden we're going to be able to see what code and what document has been written with AI. It will leave you a footprint. Now personally, I'm not sure I really think this is a good idea. I mean, of course it's a good idea when we're talking about when it's knowledge work like science papers and stuff like that to stop deepfakes. But for code, I'm not really sure why this needs to be a thing. Because, I mean, before AI, we would also just go to Stack Overflow or something like that, copy paste the code into the environment and say, this is now our code. So I don't really know why it makes sense in that area. But it's going to be fun to see what's going to happen with this. And if any of the others are going to also do this. I mean, it is an EU mandate. But as we also know, big tech doesn't always live up to what the EU tells them to do. Now, another thing is we're getting into this like Cold War dynamic. We're having these big labs always saying, oh, we have this very powerful model living down here. And we will release it if you release yours. So it's like back in the Cold War where we had all these missiles ready, say, oh, we have atomic weapons, we will launch it. If you launch yours, we will launch ours. The only difference is these are not missiles. These are things running in our enterprise architectures around the world. So it's a dangerous game to play. On top of that, we're also seeing OpenAI is really going all in right now by cutting their prices on all the APIs, meaning that Luna is actually free. For the free users, you can use Luna in the ChatGPT without a free account for as long as you want. And if you're using the API, it's very, very cheap. And also they cut the prices of the Terra model, which is, for those of you in the Claude world, is the Opus level model in the OpenAI stack, which all of a sudden makes Codex, or what is called now is ChatGPT desktop app, a very viable solution for most developers, because all of a sudden you can run a very high workhorse model on a very low budget. Personally, I have a $20 account for OpenAI and I run my Codex with Terra all the time, and I haven't hit a limit yet. Now this had to happen because we have seen all these new releases from open source models like the Kimi K3 and the GLM models, all having a great capability at a fraction of the price that these big labs in America has taken. We are also seeing that you have the Fable level models and the Soul level models. They're very expensive and not something that people are going to be able to use. You can use them, but they're very expensive to use. However, they're being used to distill into smaller models, which means we're getting we got the Opus 5 already, and we're getting Terra, and they're getting fast, they're getting cheaper, these models, because we have the large models to train the smaller models. So the idea is going to be, going forward, that yes, you can use Fable, yes, you can use Soul, but that's not really the point for enterprises to use these models. The point is to use the model below them, and then only use these very large models if something is very, very complicated and you have a reason to do so. Now, on another topic, Google just made a mega deal with SpaceX for $30 billion. This deal is part of what is called the space GPUs. The idea is that SpaceX has always been talking about sending data centers into space. And now Google is actually starting to think they're closer than we might think they are. So now they are investing into this with this $30 billion cloud deal. This is really strange, right? Because Google has always it's been seen like the ones that were on top of everything. They had their own data centers, they had their own GPUs, they had everything up and running for them. But Google is really falling behind right now. So they have to do something to keep up with the market. And this is just a part of it. So it's going to be fun to see just what this deal is going to mean for Gemini moving forward. Because if we talk about Gemini, they have been falling very much behind. The Gemini models are not really up to par with all of the other bigger labs. So back in the day when we had the three big ones, we had OpenAI, we had Anthropic, and we had Google. Now we only really have Anthropic and we have OpenAI. And this is strange because we say back in the day, we were only talking about a couple of months, right? Because that's how fast this market is moving. Now Google did release their Flash model 3.6, and it's a good model. It's a cheap model. However, we were hoping for a model 3.5 Pro for Gemini, but it's keep on being extended because every time a benchmark comes out, no one is really impressed on how far they are. So the question is, are they going to drop this whole 3.5 Pro and go directly to Gemini 4? Let's hope so, because they really have to make a model that can live up to par for the Fable and the Soul models, and then their Flash model has to be their workhorse model. But they had to start doing something because Google is really losing not so as much as we might think, because of course Google is integrated into everything, but it's losing as a developers. No one is really going to start using Flash for their development. So losing awareness at people's in the developer stacks. Now we did talk a little bit about these open source models, but it really needs to be focused, right? Because we got this Kimi K3 model. It's a massive model. We have never seen such a large open source model. It's about 2.8 trillion parameters, and it has a 1 million token context window. This has been integrated directly into GitHub Copilot. And on top of that, we're also seeing Meta actually coming back into the market with their Muse Glimmer and their Muse Spark 2.1 and Muse Code. All of a sudden, Meta is coming back into the market. So it's like Meta and Google are switching places right now, because Meta has really been out for a very long time. No one really took them seriously. But now it's like they're getting back into the game. Now they're not necessarily running for the top space, but they are in the conversations and people are taking them seriously. Microsoft is of course working behind the scenes on the MAI models, including the MI1 Flash. Now, it's going to be good to see Microsoft actually getting into this market, because until now they haven't had their own models. They've been using all the other models behind the scenes, and Copilot is really not something that people are interested in using unless they really have to. Maybe these new Microsoft models will actually make it feasible for people to start using Microsoft as a real AI partner. And now when we're talking about Microsoft, there actually did occur a new model on the AI arena, which all of a sudden it could create very great images. And it turned out this was actually one of Microsoft's new model. It came in number 2 on people rating how good models were at generating images, just behind ChatGPT images. So this is going to be interesting to see if Microsoft actually has been cooking behind the scenes, and now they're actually starting to want to be part of this game. Now, when we're talking about images, there are some leaks right now going around that ChatGPT Image 3.0 is coming up. And that would be massive, because already ChatGPT 2.0 is the most powerful image model we have at the moment. So if they're making that even greater, I mean, it's going to, as the rumors are saying, it's going to be able to do 3D awareness and real-time visual editing. So I'm really looking forward to seeing just what this model can do, and if it's true what the rumors are saying. So I'll leave you with this. What matters most to you right now? Is it raw intelligence of these models? Is it affordability and speed? Or is it control and safety? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Like and subscribe. Until next time, stay safe and thank you for watching. Goodbye.